I'm Nikki.
I'm Nick.
And together we're Nikki Nick.
Woo!
Today we're going to be reacting to conspiracies about kids' cartoons. This video I actually came across on my Facebook, so it might be on YouTube. I'm not 100% sure. But we are going to be using the one off Facebook, so we'll provide a link to that in the description below if you guys actually want to check out the video itself. But I'm super excited because I always really like these conspiracy theories and learning about like what other people think.
There's two major ones that come to mind that I know about, which is Rugrats and Pokemon. But I don't want to say anything because I want to see
if they mention it in
this
one.
if they mention it.
I know, yeah, Rugrats is the one that I was thinking of.
Rugrats is a creepy one.
Yeah, Rugrats is the one that I was thinking of.
Pokemon is kind of sad to me.
Oh. No, I think you told me about the Pokemon one, so I guess I know both of those.
I don't want to say anything if nobody's heard it.
I really think those are the only two that come to my mind too, because I don't know what else they could mention in this. So I'm excited to hear about, like, I love learning about all this stuff.
There's a number 10 right there, so I assume there's 10.
There's 10. Okay, so I'm excited. You ready to jump in?
Yes.
Let's go.
Here we go.
10 disturbing conspiracies about kids' cartoons. Number 10. SpongeBob is a radioactive mutant.
I've never actually heard this one.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Well, according to one conspiracy theory, a group of radioactive mutants.
What?
This theory comes from the fact that Bikini Bottom, where SpongeBob SquarePants is set, is named after the real-life coral reef Bikini Atoll, as was confirmed by Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob. Bikini Atoll was a popular site of nuclear arms testing during the 1940s and 1950s, including the Bravo test in 1954, which was 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The animated series could therefore be a commentary on the dangers of nuclear testing, hence the strange collection of creatures at Bikini Bottom. Furthermore, theorists have suggested that Sandy's spacesuit could actually be a protective hazmat suit, and also that Krusty Krab uses radioactive materials to cook their burgers, which is why they can cook underwater.
Oh my gosh.
The Smurfs are racist anti-Semites.
What?
The Smurfs have been a popular presence on our TV screens since 1981 and existed as a comic book series for more than 2 decades before that. Many people
I didn't know that.
A fairly obvious parallel between the white pointed hats of the blue creatures and white supremacist group the KKK. But there is a conspiracy theory that delves even deeper into the idea that the Smurfs could be racist. The theory draws on the fact that the main villain of the show, Gargamel, is a dark-haired, large-nosed, money-loving character, similar to the derogatory stereotype of Jewish people. What's more, Gargamel even has a cat called Azrael, which, suspiciously, is the same name as the Jewish angel of death. And then there's this ridiculous scene, in which the characters appear to give a Nazi salute. Number 8. Disney is pushing a sexual agenda. The Walt Disney Company has been producing animated family favorites since it was founded in 1923. However, there's a theory that Walt Disney had disturbing intentions behind his filmmaking, which have permeated the company's movies ever since. The theory is that subliminal sexual references have been inserted into Disney movies to corrupt children and encourage promiscuous behavior. This may sound absolutely crazy, but the theory is drawn from quite a large number of examples, such as the word sex apparently being shown in The Lion King, or a character with what may be an erection appearing in The Little Mermaid. You can even hear a creepy sexual message in Aladdin. So, could Disney really have been pushing a perverted sexual agenda? Number 7. Winnie the Pooh is psychologically disturbed.
That's the one I've heard.
We all know that Eeyore, the gloomy grey donkey from Winnie the Pooh, was clinically depressed.
Oh, almost
the other residents of the Hundred-Acre Wood.
It's all like different
An article by the
personalities.
Canadian Medical Association argued that each of the characters from the beloved children's stories has a diagnosable mental condition. Piglet, for example, has generalized anxiety disorder and a stammer. Tigger has ADHD, and Rabbit has obsessive-compulsive disorder. Owl has dyslexia, hence why he often swaps or misses letters when he writes, and Pooh has obsessive fixations, most notably on honey. There's also the theory that Christopher Robin, the only human character in Winnie the Pooh, is schizophrenic.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Seeing as the characters are all imaginary creations based on his childhood toys.
Oh my God.
6. The Care Bears of Voodoo Gods.
Oh?
The Care Bears is a show about adorable teddy bears who live in a magical cloud city in the sky. Sounds sickeningly sweet. but could there be darker forces at play? Conspiracy theorists have picked up on the similarities between the name Care Bears and Carrefour, an ancient Loire voodoo spirit.
That's
But it goes
scary.
deeper than that. If you look into the kind of terminology that the Care Bears use, there are even more frightening similarities between them and voodoo gods. The characters often refer to each other and the children watching as friends, similar to how the Voodoo Loire are often called friendly spirits or friends by their followers. Furthermore, the bears' tummy symbols that represent their personalities, such as a crescent moon for bedtime bear and a rainbow for cheer bear, share a worrying resemblance with symbols that represent the various voodoo gods. Number 5. Tom and Jerry is Nazi propaganda.
I think I heard
A
something
worrying
about this,
conspiracy
actually.
about one of the world's longest-running cartoons suggests that Tom and Jerry could actually have been a tool of pro-Nazi propaganda. The show began in 1940 and became popular during the height of the Second World War. The choice of character names, therefore, is somewhat suspicious, seeing as Tommy's is slang for British soldiers and Jerry's is slang for German soldiers.
I never thought of
What's
that.
most disturbing
maybe I
about
haven't
this
heard
is that
this.
Jerry is the good guy who uses his superior intelligence to defeat Tom's evil schemes. All other cartoons at the time would name their animal characters things like Sniffles and Droopy. Even more curious is that Tom was originally called Jasper, so some theorists have questioned why it needed to be changed. Also, it is worth noting that most British and American shows during this era did overtly include anti-Nazi propaganda, so it's rather weird that Tom and Jerry didn't join in with this campaign. Could they perhaps have been campaigning for the other side? Number 4. The Flintstones are from
This
the
is
future.
blowing my mind.
Although
Ooh,
you
I
have
like
good
this one.
reason
This
to
one
assume
sounds
that the
good.
long-running cartoon The Flintstones is set during the Stone Age, there is an intriguing alternate
Oh,
interpretation.
that they got set back
The
somehow.
Flintstone family are living in a post-apocalyptic future. The idea is that Fred Flintstone is in actual fact a super-evolved human, possessing superhuman strength and speed. He also only has 4 fingers, which ties in with the evolutionary theory that humans will eventually de-evolve their little finger, as it doesn't serve as great a function as the other fingers. And then there's the line in the opening credits describing the Flintstones as the modern Stone Age family. Bedrock Society certainly does look to have modern influences, with the characters driving cars and watching TV. So maybe this isn't that ludicrous after all.
I like
Number
that one.
3.
That
Me
was probably
too.
my
Studies on
favorite.
antidepressants.
Yep.
The Fairly OddParents is a highly successful animated series about the life of average kid Timmy
I always thought
Turner
this
and his magic little
show
fish
was
which grants his
creative.
every
Yeah, me
wish.
too.
But could his fish/fairy/pencil godparents be a metaphor for something more sinister? Let's look at Timmy's life for a second. The 10-year-old is pretty much neglected by his parents, tortured by his babysitter, and bullied at school by both his classmates and teacher. His life is, in a word, miserable. Therefore, it's perhaps not all that implausible to believe that Timmy could be depressed. One theory is that Cosmo and Wanda are not magical fairies at all, but antidepressants prescribed to help Timmy deal with his dismal life. When Timmy
Dang.
abuses his godparents' power, he always suffers the repercussions, much like those misusing narcotics would do.
That was
2.
deep.
Dead Edd and Eddy.
What?
Cartoon Network's Edd, Edd and Eddy, which
Oh,
ran
What a
from
good show.
1999 to 2009, appears at first to be a harmless series about a group of preteen boys living on a cul-de-sac in the fictional town of Peach Creek. But when you think about it, there's something slightly off about it. Most notably, there's the fact that the characters' world consists entirely of that cul-de-sac, which, bizarrely, doesn't seem to include any adults. A popular theory about the series is that the cul-de-sac is actually purgatory, and the children all died in different eras. The theory even comes complete
That's
with suggestions for
scary.
how each of them could have died. Eddie, for example, drowned in a river in 1939, and character Naz was murdered in 1979. This theory is based on the idea that the characters all dress as if from different time periods, and also references their corpse-like blue-green tongues. Number 1. The Rugrats are dead. Popular Nickelodeon cartoon Rugrats centers around a group of
This is
toddlers
creepy.
and their mischievous
Yeah.
antics.
This is one I've
Maybe
heard.
this iconic 90s series isn't quite what it seems. A popular conspiracy theory has arisen from the depths of the internet, suggesting that the toddlers are all figments of Angelica
Yeah,
Pickle's
Yep,
this one.
demented delusions. This childhood-ruining theory explains that all of the Rugrats, except Angelica, actually died long before the story began. Tommy, for example, was stillborn. This explains why his dad, Stu, spends all his time tragically making toys for the son that never lived. The DeVilles ended up having an abortion, and as Angelica never found out whether it would have been a boy or a girl, she conjured up the idea of the twins, Phil and Lil, to help her cope. And everyone's favourite goofball, Chucky, died along with his mother, who succumbed to a terminal illness shortly after Chucky was born, making his dad into the nervous wreck we see on screen. As a coping mechanism for her grief, Angelica has created the baby's personalities so she can escape from the horrors of reality.
That was it? It just cut out like that?
You can't leave me hanging like
Jeez.
that.
But yeah, I've heard the one with Rugrats. That one creeps me out. But some of these I feel like were kind of a stretch.
Like a long stretch.
A little bit of
but
that.
The one that I have heard the most and would probably understand the most would
Edd
be...
and Eddy one, there was an episode where they showed their parents.
Was there?
Yeah, but it only showed from their legs, not like up. I think there might have been one.
Well, like when I think of like the Rugrats, the conspiracy blew my mind, but at the same time I was just like, well, they did create like the grown-up version of them.
Okay.
What?
Let everybody believe.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like that. So that one, like, while it blows my mind, and I've heard that theory all the time, I feel like that one might have been like a little blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
The one that I completely 100% could be behind would be the Winnie the Pooh one. I've like that one I could believe that Christopher Robin.
I could believe, but I also think maybe the creators that might not have been in their actual intention. I feel like they just wanted to give their own personality, and that's their best way of thinking of.
Yeah.
But another thing that got me was that for the Edd and Eddy one, they do actually leave the cul-de-sac in one episode where they go and find his brother.
Oh, do they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we'll see.
And they go to school. But yeah, there is no adults ever besides that one time.
Well,
when they all get in trouble.
Yeah, well, I feel like when you've got a cartoon like that, you're so... I mean, it's called Edd, Edd and Eddy, like, not Edd, Edd and Eddy and all the parents. So, I mean, I feel like you're so focused on their adventures and the crazy things that they're doing that.
Yeah.
But I thought that there was a point in one of them where... I can't remember who was downstairs in their room and, like, one of the parents shouted. I thought that was in one episode, but maybe I'm completely wrong.
Oh, Edd and Eddy?
Yeah. I don't know. I might be completely wrong, but the Winnie the Pooh one is the one that I see.
That one seems like the most plausible.
Yeah, because like I've heard that from a lot of people that Christopher Robin had a disorder and it was schizophrenic and like all these fictitious like creatures were what he saw, and it's just like, and all of them had a different disorder.
Yeah.
So I could see that because like it is the most plausible considering like Eeyore was like you could tell that he's like had depression, or you know like Tigger, he definitely did have the like he could have the ADHD, you know, so I could see that being a lot more plausible than some of the other ones.
A couple other ones. SpongeBob seemed kind of believable.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. That blew my mind.
Yeah, I never heard of that theory before.
And the fact that like the voice of SpongeBob was the one was the one that was just like confirmed that was the location they were going after was like mind blowing.
Yeah.
There was
then
one
again,
more.
it is Bikini Bottom.
I didn't realize that what they were talking about the Disney one, but I have heard that.
I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've done it recently.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know if that's a continuous thing.
Yeah, but I do like. I saw some posts where it was just like it gave like different examples of like the innuendos that they're throwing in, which sometimes I can see as believable because as an adult watching Disney movies, you don't catch a lot of things that you did when you were younger. Exactly.
Yeah, we were watching Mulan, and there was a couple jokes in there that
and I was like, ooh, that's a little dirty.
Yeah.
A little dirty Disney.
I was like...
So, but I mean, you don't realize that as a kid, but then when you grow up, you're just like, ooh, I caught that one, didn't catch that one when I was younger.
Yeah, last night we were watching Mulan, I caught a couple, and I was like, watch Mulan, guys, you might actually catch it.
But anyway, so that was awesome. So if you guys have any more like conspiracy theories or anything else you want us to watch.
And that Pokemon one, they didn't talk about it.
Which one was that?
Pokemon is when Ash...
No, wait, you told me that. I'm sorry.
Apparently, I don't remember because I'm going to go off of what I've heard. He like doesn't see any of the Pokemon until he gets struck by lightning. And then he starts seeing them.
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be like he's actually in a coma and he's not waking up.
You said that.
And that's why he never ages, because
he's staying that age.
He's in a coma.
Yeah.
And I guess each character is also supposed to represent his personality and
so it's like a
stuff
whole
like
thing.
that.
I think I remember you telling me that.
And since he's young, the reason why Brock is so like in love with every time he sees a girl is because he's learning those emotions.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh god.
That's crazy. It's insane to think about like what the creators could have been going for, and all these theories absolutely blow my mind, because like when you piece them together, it's just like that could be true. Like you never know, and unless they confirm that it is or is not.
They better. I don't. They should just.
Yeah, just leave us to ponder.
Just hushity hush.
And if you guys want to see more of us, of course, make sure to check out the description box below, our Snapchat, and Instagram. Make sure to subscribe.
And as always, thank the support, thank the love.
We love you guys.
And have a good day, good night, good evening. Bye.